this module, we will discuss about the Mendelian principles of inheritance, monohybrid and dihybrid crosses. The science of genetics began in 1865 with the pioneering work of Gregor Johann Mendel on heredity. He was an Austrian monk who discovered the laws of inheritance. One reason for Mendel's success is that he selected his experimental material astutely, the garden pea, Pisum sativum, which is a true breeding and can be easily grown in experimental garden and is an ideal material for breeding experiment. Mendel focused on singular difference between pea strains and selected contrasting characters of pea plant for his experiment on inheritance. As for example, yellow seed versus green, white flower versus violet flower color. Then color of the pod, yellow versus green, then full versus constricted, then position of the flower, it may be axial position or the terminal position, and long plant, size of the plant long or short, that is your height, that is long and short. This length he has also considered. Now Mendel's first experiment was the monohybrid cross. That is, in this cross he has selected single contrasting character, that is pure breed tall pea plant crossed with pure breed tall dwarf plant. So pure breed tall pea plant is represented by capital PP and small, that is small pp, it represents dwarf pea plant. In the F1 generation, he obtained all hybrid tall pea plant and its genotype is capital P, small p. Now question comes, what is the composition of these genotypes? So to explore the F1 hybrid tall pea plants, he self-fertilized these hybrid tall pea plants. In the F2 generation, he obtained 3 tall pea plants and 1 dwarf pea plant. So he was very much struck by the reappearance of a dwarf pea plant. So, which indicates that out of these two alleles, that is capital P and small p, they maintain their individual identity and these alleles are segregated in the F2 generation with a ratio of 3 tall pea plants is to 1 dwarf pea plant. There is also a genotypic ratio of 1:2:1, which indicates that there is a 1 pure pea plant, capital PP, 2 hybrid pea plants and one pure dwarf pea plant. So, main inference from this cross is that these alleles segregate, and he has concluded the law of segregations, that is, alleles segregate and their individual effects are never diluted. They maintain each alleles maintain their own identity. Now, to test the law of segregation, there is a test cross. In the test cross, what he has done, that is this hybrid tall plant, they were test cross with double recessive dwarf pea plant. In the F2 generation, he obtained two classes, tall and dwarf, in the ratio of 1:1. So, this test cross further proves that alleles segregate and each allele maintains its own identity. So, law of segregation has become an universally accepted law. Mendel also carried out further experiment on pea plant. Now, another method is there. It is called Punnett square method. So, Punnett square method, here there is an assumption is that is hybrid, this pea plant, they produce two types of gametes, that is, male produce two types of gametes, capital P, small p, and also female, they also produce two types of gametes. And there are 4 boxes are there, and there is every probability of appearance of 4 categories of individuals, that is capital PP, capital P small p, and small pp. Now, this method is called Punnett square method, which was developed by a British geneticist R.C. Punnett. So, it is also the way by which Mendel's principle of inheritance could be predicted, or the results could be obtained on the basis of these principles. Mendel's also carried out another cross, it is called dihybrid cross, or principle of independent assortment. In the dihybrid cross, Mendel selected round yellow pea seed and wrinkled green pea seed. Here, the two contrasting characters are there, that is round yellow and wrinkled green. Now, in the F1 generation, he obtained all hybrid round yellow pea seed, all hybrids. Now, these all hybrids round yellow pea seeds are self-fertilized. So, in the F2 generations, a Punnett square is formed, where the assumption is that each one produce 4 types of gametes, and there are 16 boxes are there. So, in the dihybrid cross, he obtained 4 phenotypic classes, 4 phenotypic class. Of these 4 phenotypic class, there is a round yellow, round green, wrinkled yellow, and wrinkled green. These 4 phenotypic class. Now, there are 16 boxes are there, and there are 16 genotypes are there. Of these, there are 9 round yellow, 3 round green, 3 wrinkled yellow, and 1 green wrinkled. So there is a ratio of 9:3:3:1. So this ratio, that is the dihybrid ratio, Mendel obtained. Now, from this cross, Mendel also inferred that alleles segregate, as he told in the previous experiment. Secondly, each character, they segregate independently of each other. So it is called law of independent assortment, which indicates that each gene are located on the different chromosomes. So this is the Mendel's second law, that is the law of independent assortment, where he obtained 9:3:3:1. Now next question comes, that is this, out of these two laws, which is universally accepted. Now, after further experiments, later on scientists found that law of segregation is universally accepted, that is alleles always segregate. However, law of independent assortment is not universally accepted, because what happened, if the genes are located on the same chromosome, they will not assort independently. So Mendel selected the characters which happens to be on the different chromosomes. So he obtained the law of independent assortment and the ratio of 9:3:3:1. But later on, there's a lot of deviations were obtained. Now in the conclusion, we can say that is, Mendel is called father of modern genetics for his landmark discovery on the laws of inheritance. Since his discovery, genetics has grown at an explosive rate. Now, in this module, you will get module summary, and we have also provided some reference books for your further reading. Quizzes are there to evaluate your conception about this module. Moreover, we will be happy to clarify if you have any question on this module. Thank you for participation in our online course.